natural
here's my
meaning.
problem, Ken, is that if you take a New Testament example, you got Jesus talking, and he says to Peter, "Do you love me?" Okay? Now, the average person says, "Well, shoot, I know what love means." Okay, but you go a little further and you find out that Greek can have erotic love, eros, and it can have agape, John 3:16 love. It can have friendship love.
Oh, exactly.
So the question is, how do you know in advance without looking at the text? And if the text has these, and you've got also a context, he asks it 3 times. So what I'm saying is if Moses, if he's using the word, and he's used it in other places to suggest that it's got these different meanings, how do you know in advance? When you say everyday meaning, whose everyday meaning?
I think one of the things that we've got to understand is there's been a lot of scholarship done over the years in looking at the Hebrew language and understanding it and realizing, I mean, God communicates to us in language, and so there are certain rules, otherwise none of us can understand anything.
And I'm sympathetic what he's saying here, Dr. Kaiser. The fact is, using the average rules, how do we import into those day 1, day 2, day 3, how do we import in millions of years?
Well, I don't think we should import anything in. I think we're only asking at this point whether the biblical text closes the deal in which there is only 24 hours. I think that has to be faced first because as believers in the biblical text, that's normative for us, and therefore that's got to be king. Then, secondly, we ask the evidential questions. But the primary question has to be about the breadth of use here. I don't think that we can talk about ordinary believers understanding everything in Scripture. We can for salvation. That's where that particular doctrine refers, that even a plowboy, said Tyndale, ought to be able to get the essential message of the Bible. But an apostle like Peter, looking at some things that Paul wrote, he said which things are hard to understand. There were some things there that were difficult for him. So not everything is on the same cookie shelf. There are some things that are real low. There are some things very high.
Nobody denies that. But you know what, Dr. Kaiser? If Calvin, Luther, and Wesley believed in 6 days, and going back in history, we have Ambrose, we have Irenaeus, and we have Basil, all believing in 24-hour days. And I've got the quotes saying they believe in 24-hour days.
Those are disputed claims.
They're not disputed.
Yes, they
18 centuries of scholarship where the majority opinion was young Earth and 6 24-hour days, and some of the great scholars today. The turning point was in the 18th century because of the millions of years. That was the turning point. You can see it in the commentaries.
This is 1681. This is what Isaac Newton says. For ye number and length of 6 days, by what is said above, you may make ye first day as long as you please, and you second day too.
That's not an authoritative statement. Well, regardless. Isaac Newton, I'm not saying that he got it right in regard to the days. I'm not quoting him as an authority. I'm talking of people like Calvin, Luther,
but I'm giving you an example of a scholar who interpreted it as long periods of time, long before the geologists and astronomers.
Read the statement at the bottom of the letter. He says, I'm not going to stand by or defend
He doesn't say that in this letter.
All right, we've got to move on.
There's a whole series of letters